Hey, good morning to everybody. Welcome to another edition, a silent edition of Walking This Way's Impact Wars podcast. It is, of course, this is the last Saturday of September. We're about to get enter October 1st tomorrow. We thank everybody once again for tuning in, hanging out with us. For those who are tuning in as well, I'm broadcasting live once again here in the DFW, that is Dallas Fort Worth, Texas. Everybody wants to know what that stands for. Like I said, it is Saturday. It's a great Saturday morning. Hope everybody got the day on point, their mindset right, but most importantly, that you're making things happen or getting things done. So that's the most important thing. I am your host, Furman Jackson Jr., and I'm the founder, of course, and the CEO of Walking This Way's Impact Wars podcast. I'm very excited to have my guests on here on the platform this morning. I know we had to reschedule a couple weeks back. Finally got together, made it happen, and I'm very thankful, appreciate it, honored. So right that you took the time out of your productive schedule to come on the show, take us into your world, take us into your journey on where you are today, how this all came about. For those who get to know you for the very first time, so go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience here on Walking This Way, the Impact Wars podcast.
Peace and blessings, everyone. Whoever is tuning in, my name is SOSOBRITE. I'm a spoken word artist. I've been writing for 15 years. Whoever who doesn't know me, I'm a full-time writer. I'm a published poetess. I got published numerous times in magazines, anthologies. I'm a promoter, a networker. I am more than just a phenomenal writer for the creator. I write variety of poetry. I love poetry. Poetry is my passion. All I do is write. When I clock in, I write. When I clock out, I write. I still write. So everything that I do is all for the Most High God. So also Spoken Word Queen of Yahweh. No, Spoken Word Queen of Yahweh LLC. I just received my LLC 5 months ago, along with TDWC. TDWC is another brand of mine. And whoever wants to know what TDWC stands for, I suggest you all go to my Facebook and follow me and look through my content. I have a lot of videos of what TDWC stands for. It's a very strong brand that I had created for cancer. It stands for To Death with Cancer. I know a lot of people who's dealing with cancer in the communities. Many people probably passed from cancer, and I decided to write something up like 6 years ago to end it, so I can be able to demolish cancer, destroy cancer out of all the communities, like the Black communities, the white communities, so we can end cancer for good. So that's on my Facebook page. Also, you can follow me on Instagram. Instagram is All I Do Is Write on Instagram. And also, I am a full-time mother as well with 3 offspring. So that's who SOSOBRITE is. SOSOBRITE is a writer, a promoter, a networker, a spoken word artist, a mother. She's a speaker, an inspirational speaker, a motivational speaker. She do shows at open mics, spoken word, fashion shows. She travels local, out of town. Wherever you want her to do, she'll do it.
That's what's up. And I know just hearing you talk, you have a very productive schedule. You have a schedule that's a life that's productive, from motherhood to having your own business to running your own business and all the great stuff you're doing, just giving back into the community, doing it for a greater good, doing it for the greater cause, right? And that's what it's all about, proclaiming, showcasing the words of the Most High, of course, and his son Christ, who paid a price for us, that we still here today. and that we be a representative of the kingdom here, of course, and that's what it's all about. So you mentioned writing. You mentioned you wake up writing, you go to bed writing. Growing up, have you always was fascinated as being a writer growing up?
No,
Why
no
did
writing. No, no, no. No, I used to say I wanted to be so many things as a child, but writing has always been there. I can't say writing was there, but it came out when I was 18. That's when I started writing more, 18. So, but when I was a child, I used to always say that I want to be so many things, but that never happened. So, writing, I never thought that I'll become a writer. And many people who used to write said that writing is a gift. So I look at it as that the Most High chose me to be one of his writers for his people.
and we know that words have meaning. Even though Scripture tells us life and death is in the power of the tongue. We know that, right? And we know
Hmm.
that the tongue is powerful. But when it comes to writing, um, the wording, we know that wording can go either good or it can go bad, or it gets a misunderstanding, some things misquoted. But we know that writing is always been a part of our journey per se. So when it comes to writing, I know we had the English classes. They know what is it, creative writing class and stuff like that. Teaching you how to write, how to do your punctuations and your decimals and all this other stuff they were teaching us how to do. And we know that writing gets people attention. Whether on social media, we write it on social media. Whatever you write on texting, and it's like now we do more writing now than we do actually verbal communication now. Because I know that people have I guess individuals have it more easy to express themselves with words than actually verbally communicate. What do you say about that, right?
Oh yes, communicating is definitely important, but I would have to say comprehending is more important than communicating because many people don't know how to comprehend. But in order to communicate, you do have to comprehend as well.
Mm-hmm. And I
And
know, go ahead, my bad.
also if many people wants to write, they have to write correctly. You probably see it on social media, like many people. Well, I'm gonna just say it like this: I'm always seeing a lot of misspelled words from adults, and these are adults. Like they just don't know how to write or spell. It's like they don't take their grammar serious. Like I understand that they want to take Facebook as a joke, but you should at least, you know, you know, know how to
Make it
write.
right. I mean, make it presentable. I know
Right. Yeah.
everybody been there before. It's no judgment zone and nothing like that. But
Mhm.
taking the time out, a lot of time we write stuff so fast that we never pre-fruit it. I mean, pre-read it
Yeah.
because before, like, well, my line of work before we have reports. So, for you, before you submit the report, they will always tell you get with somebody that will proofread your report. And if it's perfect, it's good, then go and submit it. A lot of times we never go over and say, hey, let somebody who I could trust who will keep it 1,000 with me to let me know if it's right or wrong. And then
Mhm.
before we submit, a lot of times we write stuff so fast that we miss the point. And a lot of times individuals not gonna say anything. They're just gonna sit there and laugh at you. But they're not gonna say, hey, you said this wrong or did you misspell this wrong. And then a lot of times people don't want to correct other individuals because of the backlash they get from per se. Could I get to feel belittled, ashamed, embarrassed? So individuals overreact. Oh, they trying to talk about me. It's just really to help you. And I know we need more classes. So we do, to be honest with you, we need more writing classes for all age groups, especially as adults. So we can make sure, huh? You say
Mm.
something?
Um, yeah, I think the adults who be posting a lot on social media, I guess they just don't care because it's social media. But at the same time, they should at least make it more professional if it is social media. Cause like you don't want people to think, well, this person is an adult and this person, they're gonna, have the feeling think that, you just don't know how to write or read. But
Mm-hmm.
that's just my way of thinking because like you don't know who may be seeing your work.
Right. Especially if you're in business, uh, per se, like for me, what I'm saying per se me, when you're in business like podcasting or you're doing a lot of speaking engagements, like yourself, you're a writer, and I know that that's your income as being a writer. I know you have to make sure everything you put out has to be on point and 1,000 because that's your livelihood. That's how you get paid and stuff like that. Because if you put out garbage, you're not gonna receive a positive feedback. So I agree with you 1,000%. So it's all about evolving and it's all about getting better. And per se, hey, I would say this: if you having troubles with that or struggling with it, get with somebody you can trust. Matter of fact, they even got grammar books. I know I got one in my library that I purchased some years ago. Just really sit down, look over it, read over it, knowing how we need to deliver our points, of course, especially when it comes to marketing, advertising. We know words are everything, and we have to be 1,000%. And like I said, there's no judgment on anybody. We evolving, right? So we evolve as we go. It's all about getting better along the journey, right? So it's
Mhm.
never a bad thing. Just think about we just coming up because that's all about.
Mhm.
It's all about coming up. So you've been doing this for what, 14 years, right? 14 years that you mentioned. For this 14-year journey, how has it been for you?
I'm not gonna say it's not easy. Many people think that writing is easy, doing shows is easy. No. Still to this day, I still get nervous on stage, and whenever I do get on stage, I always kill it. I don't know why is that, but that's just something that's been, you know, happening ever since I've been doing on stage speaking along with the writing. So it's always normal to get nervous on stage when you have an audience looking at you when it's time for you to be on the spotlight and shine.
So let me ask you this: so when you're on stage doing, well, how do you look? How when you're on stage, what is your viewpoint on stage? I know you out there, you out there putting out great. You out there putting out the messages, out there putting out great content. I know you out there putting out the words so people can be inspired, be motivated, speak to their core. So don't you? Will you consider the stage your sanctuary, or how would you look at it when you're on stage performing in front of?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. Like I never thought about that. Whenever I get on stage, I try not to look at the people, but I can't help it because like whenever I do get on stage, I always minister because poetry is my ministry. So it's like whenever I start to speak, I minister to God's people. Many people may not want to hear what I want to hear, but I know somebody out there that's listening to my words. So I look at it as whenever I do my poetry, I'm ministering to whoever is out there that wants to hear what I have to say.
And and that's what it's all about. You doing it to help someone. Even though when Christ said, left the 99 sheep to go after that one, we know that one is more valuable than that 99, right? So if you reach one somebody, that one somebody could touch somebody, and that other somebody could touch somebody. So it's all about that ripple effect, that domino effect per se, that it will affect everybody along the way. And I know you mentioned writing, and we know that writing can be hard. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
How has and I know we heard it before, people suffer from writer's block. Have you ever experienced that before on writer's block? If you have, how do you overcome it?
Writer's block. No, I never came across that writer's block.
Okay, 'cause I noticed individuals they said they had suffered from writer's block before. I think they're trying to come up with some creative, and I think you trying to challenge yourself to okay, I have to top out what I did last time, so I don't want to bring the same content again. I want to make sure I take it to the next level, per se. That's what I want to say about that. So, as a writer, where do you get your creativity from? Because I know being a writer, you got what we had back in school, creative writing, right? So
Yeah.
where do you get your creative flow from to keep it authentic, to keep it up to the times we're in?
Um, Photography. Like I like photography. I love art. I'm always looking at art. Like I can look at a picture and I can just stare at this picture and describe what this picture is saying to me. And as I study the picture, I like to just look at it and see what is it, you know, saying to me. Like what is it reading? Like what is it describing? How is it feeling? So I write it out. Also music, everyday life. Most of the time it can be something that I seen on the internet and it gets me to write something up into a short story. So I even got poetry about people who've been in domestic violence situations. So I got poetry about that. I even got a poetry piece. Matter of fact, it's on my Facebook page. It's a clip. A Trigger Man, or they call him Trigger Man off of Boys in the Hood.
Mhm.
When the man shot Ricky.
Right.
So I took that image off the internet and I wrote about him.
Okay.
So I like to look at different types of art and photography pictures and just study about what the picture is saying and give it like a little title. And once I'm done writing it, I go over it and practice it in my head until I have it down and packed. Cause I do all my poetry by memory.
Gotcha. And before going any further, I got to give a big shout out to Erica Davis here in the DFW. She's an actress, a mother, ambassador, so many titles that she carried. So I'm gonna give a big shout out to her in the comments. Says she's gonna be on my podcast in a couple of weeks, in October. So big shout out to Erica Davis. I got to give a big shout out to those who are tuning in, who are timing in. Hey, if you're watching us right now, man, put a comment in the comment section. I'd love to give you a shout out here on the platform. I appreciate everybody who's been down since day one, to the individual been down since day one. I got to give y'all, to the ladies, I got to give y'all roses. To the fellas, I got to give y'all cigars. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in, coming in this morning as we here to have this conversation with SOSOBRITE. The title of this show is called Life and Death is in the Power of the Tongue. And where that title came from, when I watched one of your videos, that made me think about the power of our word, the stuff that we say.
Okay. What
You know,
video was that?
one you did a spoken word event, and when you had sent me, that's when I was watching. That maybe came out with Life and Death is the Power of the Tongue. And by you being a spoken word artist, we know that words have power. We know the tongue is the most powerful thing that we have. And I know when
Mhm.
you on stage or you doing it, I know you all about speaking life. You're not about speaking death, but you're about speaking life. Speaking life to
Mhm.
those who are open to hear what you have to say at that moment, at that time. So when you are up there on stage, and I know you see you do stuff by memory, when you're in the atmosphere, how does that go? Do you like if you're in a different atmosphere, do it change up when you're on stage, or how do they go about? Because I know people feed off the energy of the crowd, or something may touch your spirit and say, you know what, I need to say this, and like I don't say a thing. I know somebody need to hear what needs to be said. That's gonna change their situation. It will change their life.
I know it's been many times when I was on stage. Um I know the crowd feels it, and I I I, I do my best not to, get distracted by the crowd. I just want to, start and finish what the Holy Spirit wants me to do, because if I get distracted, that's going to mess me up. So, but I know when I'm up there doing what the Holy Spirit wants me to do, whatever God wants me to say, I'm gonna do my best to get it out. But I know I am a different person when I'm on stage. Cause like every time I speak, it's like my eyes close, and it's like I'm meditating. I really can't explain it, but I know I feel something when I'm, reciting my poetry. It's like I'm in a different atmosphere.
And that's what's up right there. And before we
Yeah.
get, I know we'll go further into the conversation. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. After this commercial break, we're gonna jump right back into our conversation. Life and death is in the power of the tongue with my special guest, SOSOBRITE, spoken word artist. We'll be right back, everybody.
Write your next hit stage play with Sheena D.
What up, everybody? How you feeling? Yours truly, Stretch 6x6 Phenomenon from WHUR on the set of this wonderful play that we just witnessed for a 2-day event called Crucified.
I knew it was for the boy. I don't like it. No, Mom.
Writer, director, and producer of hit stage play Crucified. Backed by popular demand.
I gotta say, this was a great piece of work.
Damn! Oh, okay. How you gonna be that chocolate with all the muscles and your grill messed up? Come on. Oh my God! It's like finding a Snicker with no nut. I know, baby. I know. Come on.
What are you waiting for? Head over to sbhentertainment.com now to sign up.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back here on Walking This Way's Impact Wars podcast. I'm your host, Furman Jackson Jr., broadcasting right here in the DFW, that's Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, along with my special guest with me in the studio this morning, spoken word artist, entrepreneur, businesswoman, SOSOBRITE. Hey, thank you once again, SOSOBRITE, for hanging out with me this morning to take us behind the scenes on your journey. Where you at? I know that you ain't done yet. I know you, like they say, I ain't scratched the surface yet, but I know you got many great works that you want to do, that you want to put out here in the universe that will be a blessing to a lot of people, of course, and that's what it's all about. So I want to talk. Mitch, I know said something about creativity, and I know you mentioned something about creativity, the flow of things. And my next question is, how do you keep yourself relevant when it comes to writing?
Um, excuse me. Social media, Instagram. I always promote my work on Instagram, Facebook. I collab with other writers as well. I even got collaborations with different writers who is like myself. Um, I'm very artistic and creative with my poetry. I like to write about art. Like I say, art is one of my inspirations. Um, I go to open mic and spoken word to keep myself relevant. I network with other people. I let people know who I am. I do my best to reach out to other people about what I do. Um, that's basically it so far. Like, that's promoting my work on social media, Instagram, Facebook, networking, promoting. Um, always sharing my email, letting people know what all kind of venues and events they might have in the future, so I can
Hey,
attend, keep myself updated.
right. Right.
Mhm.
I know how it is, because that's what I mean. That's where the work at.
Mhm.
Staying consistent, plugging into different groups, especially on these social medias. They have different groups that's going on. So it's always good to plug in, ladies and gentlemen. Plug into these different groups. Whatever
Mhm.
you're doing, whether you're doing music, whether you're doing poetry, whether you're doing podcasting, acting, whatever you writing a book, whatever you may be doing, being a school teacher, whatever. Plug into these groups. Network. You know, we have
because like networking is where is that networking? It's so much networking out here. Only thing you gotta do is just, shoot them an email address, call them up. Like the scripture says, seeking you shall find, asking you shall receive.
Right. That's what then, but let's go even further with that with Habakkuk. Habakkuk said, write the vision, make it plain. Whoso read it, run with it. And who will run with it will not tear it. Just think about it. So when Habakkuk said in the scripture, write the vision, make it plain. Whosoever run with it, whoever read it shall run with it. It didn't say the writer run with it. It said whosoever read it, run with it. Right. So we know that the vision is there. We have to make it plain. So that's what the scripture said. With all that getting, get a good understanding. So you write the vision out. And I know what you do with your writing. You write it out. You making it plain. So when you up on stage, who else will hear it is going to run with it. It just made me think about that. It just made me think about that for a moment because you saying it, but you're making it plain. But whosoever hear it is going to run with it. And that's what it's all about. Running.
Yeah, and I can't say one thing about me, like nobody has never changed who I am. Like I think I'm like the only spoken word. Well, I'm not gonna say I'm the only, but for me to be a young lady, and carry myself as a queen, I'm like the only young lady who will go out into the clubs and the hoods and minister my poetry in their different areas. Because I don't see no preachers or no ministers doing it.
I mean, you go into a whole nother program on that one. That could be. I mean, just to be honest with you, they're not. I mean, they're not gonna go to them areas. They're not gonna go them routes. But we know that ministry is out here in the streets. We know that highways and the byways. If people really study scripture, Christ was never in the temple. He was always out and about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He came for those who were sick. He came for the sinners. He came for the righteous, came for those who were sick. Well, we was all sick at one point in our life, but he came to bring forth healing. And we know that them people right there, they're not going to touch them areas. And I'm glad you brought that up. You said it when you carry yourself. Have you ever, and I know speaking, as you being as a woman, have you was always challenged to dress a certain way, look a certain way? Because I know that they want women to have that sex appeal. You know, when I say sex appeal, the revealing, the low cut top, the high dress, showing everything to get attention. Have you always been challenged that way? Or I know you mentioned that you always be yourself, and that's always a good thing. But have you ever been approached right there when somebody say, "Hey, change this up"? But then, because I remember I had a young lady on my show, and she's an up and coming artist, and she said when she did a show, they wanted her to wear this outfit, and she said, "I'm not wearing an outfit because what happens, they would get caught in the outfit, but not about my singing." So have you ever been approached like that where say, "Hey, change this up," but then they'll miss out on what's the most important thing at hand? If that makes sense what I'm saying.
Right. As for me, no, that never happened to me. Like, the clubs that well, I ain't gonna say clubs, but like it's only one club that I went back to like a numerous of times, and not one person told me how to change up my attire. That's one thing I like about the people who I am surrounded. Like they did not change who I am. They did not try to tell me how I should change up my words. They take me for who I am.
And that's what it's all about. It's all about realness, right? Everybody want, if they say, game recognize game, real recognize real, and that's what it's all about. Being yourself is important, and don't pretend to be something you're not. And that's what a lot of times what individuals do. They pretend to be something that they're not, instead of just being real and being honest with themselves. It's like if you go to an AA meeting, the first thing they want you to admit that you have a problem. That same thing according to the word, according to scripture. Admit that we were sinners, admit to that, admit to our flaws, admit to our shortcomings, and then that's when I know that the healing and the transformation start taking place once we start making these confessions on the things we need to confess in order to bypass and move forward to the next thing. So always be yourself and never try to be somebody. And I'm glad now we are addressing more the elephant in the room now, where people, you get this all the time, where people been had some type of trauma in their life, some type of trauma they went through in their childhood, adulthood, teenhood, you name it. So I'm glad now that we're talking more about these things. At one time, we weren't even talking about going to therapy and things like that, because we always kept this stuff in. But now I'm glad we're starting to go out and talk about these things with professional people to get the help that we need, because we know that trauma can affect our livelihood, it can affect our relationships, it can affect a lot of things if we don't get the proper help that we need.
Right.
So I'm really glad that we're starting to do that now. So who was your biggest influence growing up? Do you have someone who influenced you, or who will you consider your biggest influence and why?
No one. I don't have any influence people in my life. From a child to where I'm at now as an adult. As for the people who used to be in my life or isn't there anymore. So I just call them wolves and goats and snakes with a creepy face. That's what they are: goats, wolves, and snakes with a creepy face. The only person who influenced me is me.
Right.
So, and the reason why I'm saying wolves and goats, because I say that a lot in my writing. In the scriptures, it says goats on the left and sheep on the right. And you got many people who are not just righteous sheep. You got too many wolves out here. You got too many snakes out here. And you got
Right.
too many goats out here. And I call them bogus sheep. And you got too many wolves who are pretending to be sheep. So you really have to pay attention and observe about which person is which, because you can be blinded. Like, you don't really know who is a king, who is a queen. You don't know who this person really is. So nobody never influenced me, and I'm very, very satisfied about who is in my life right now. Whoever was in my life is not in my life anymore. They gone. I'm glad. Bye. That mean I wrote you off, or God separated you from me for a reason. That's a good thing.
Well, it's always a great thing. And before we continue on, we're gonna jump into another quick commercial break, and then we're gonna be right back with our Q&A conversation.
Mhm.
I reach some places that some people can't come. The road I made to travel, you don't know where I'm going. My life will never be your life, I tend to go with the flow. I could never go back to some shit that hurt me the most. It's a growing journey, every day you living, you learning. Ain't no hole inside the loop, I'm as whole as they coming.
What's up, everybody? We're back here Walking This Way Impact What's Podcast. I am Furman Jackson G. I'm the CEO and founder of Walking This Ways. We're broadcasting here in the DFW, Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. For everybody want to know what that means, in the studio with me is SOSOBRITE. She's a spoken word artist. She's a mother. She's an entrepreneur. She's a businesswoman. She's a woman of God, a woman of faith, of course, by that. And I appreciate you and I honor you. Thank you once again for taking time out of your productive schedule to be here with me on the podcast to talk about your work, the work that you're doing. What else going on with you? I know you do a lot of spoken word. So are you recording any of your spoken word? Is that something in the works in the near future, or how that's going about?
Yes, that's something that I want to do. That's something I want to do in the near future, is to record. I do want to record some more poetry, but I really want somebody to record me as I do my poetry. It's more like I want somebody to do more content of me like just it's more like acting really.
Mm-hmm.
I see myself acting out my poetry. I had like a few people who asked me, do I see myself acting? And I said, in a way I do, since I'm a spoken word artist, because like poetry, like when you recite poetry, it's kind of like you are acting a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and you can always switch it up, because like poetry got different formats. Is that I believe that's the right word, format. You know, like you can always be in different characters.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, so because like since I got like different topics of poetry, I can always come out as a different character and come back in another character. So it's kind of like acting.
Oh yeah, most definitely, because I know big shout out to James Byrne in the coming session. Also, man, here in the DFW Fort Worth areas. Well, big shout out to him. Thank you, James, for tuning in. I had him on the show last, yeah, I think it was this year, early this year. I know I had him on the show then, but big shout out to James Burns in the comment section. So we're back here on the show. Uh, Let me ask you this. If you was not writing, if you was not a writer, what would you be doing if you was not a writer?
A dancer.
A dancer.
Yes, I would be
That
dancing. And matter of fact, I used to dance. I used to dance a lot when I was a child. And if I had that same motivation as I did with my writing, I would be a dancer.
oh hey, no, I never heard they might say they say I'd be doing anything else but a dancer. Hey, and that's
Mhm.
different because everybody
I
that's
used to
different.
do a lot of dancing. I was a cheerleader, a ballerina. I was a flag girl, a dance girl. I did a lot of dancing when I was a kid.
And that's what's up right there. I know you mentioned that you do a lot of events. Um, whether you in town, out of town. Go ahead and let everybody know how can they plug in, how can they go look at your work, and most importantly, how can they support you as well.
Okay. Also, if you want to contact me, you can contact me on my email. My email is sobrightethepoet25@gmail.com. Also, you can follow me or send me a friend request on my Facebook page, So Bright Crenshaw. You can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is All I Do Is Right. And also, you can support me on Cash App. My Cash App, well, I don't have my Cash App information plugged on my social media, but you can always support me on Instagram and Facebook. Facebook is So Bright Crenshaw. Instagram is All I Do Is Right. You can send me a message. You can follow me, send me a friend request. And if it's there anything that you want me to discuss with you, you can always hit me up on my messenger or my inbox.
And that's what's up right there. And like I said, we're gonna
Hmm.
jump into a quick video that I got from you, and it's I know it's
Hmm.
about your brand and your business, of course. And I'm gonna ask you this question. I know you mentioned it earlier, but after I play this clip, I'm gonna ask you this question about what you had sent me. Let's elaborate on that. To death to cancer. Elaborate on that. Take us behind the scene on where did that come? When did that originated? Because that's very interesting.
Yeah. To Death with Cancer. That's what TDWC stands for, To Death with Cancer. That's one of my brands. My second brands is affiliated with my To Death with cancer poetry, peace poem. And like I say, I know many people has dealt with cancer in the past. Many people have lost their loved ones with cancer. And also that's a vision. It's a vision that I want to take over and to expand all over the United States and also in different countries so many people can buy my brand so I can be able to make, more products. So I can get product starters like t-shirts, logos, cups, anything. Because I want to put cancer to an end. As you can see, cancer is still around. Like, matter of fact, living everyday life can be a cancer sometimes, waking
Right.
up in the morning, dealing with the same routine every day. Um, just being tired, and exhausted. Like, cancer and life within itself can be a cancer. It can suck sometimes.
Right.
Um, the way we eat, the way we think, most of the time we just have to fast and, recharge our temples and just, take a breather. And I believe that my brand will expand if people was to invest into TDWC, because TDWC is more than just a fist with spikes. It's a healing. It's a
Right.
knockout. Something that you want to knock out, something you can just knock it out. You can just, say it with your own words. Like say it with your mouth. Like to death with cancer, to death with cancer. Like just get that tension, that release out of you. So
Hey, and
it's a
that's
lot that
true.
I want to say, but it's the
Oh
fist.
man, you
The
good. Go
fist
ahead.
represents a lot.
Hey, you good. Hey, go ahead and share whatever you want to share. Like I said, you good. And I did post on
Hmm.
there on your Facebook page, So Bright Crenshaw on Facebook. So if you're in the comment, if you're watching this right now, go to So Bright Crenshaw on Facebook. Hit up, send her a friend request, network, build with her, and you never know how things will turn out. Also, I got to give a big shout out to Rick as well from You Better Live podcast in my hometown of Mobile, Alabama. Big shout out to him. Y'all check out You Better Live podcast every Sunday morning. Rick, if you still there, put the time that people can check out the podcast You Better Live. It's a great podcast with him and his wife. They have a lot of great stuff on there. Great guests as well that's been on there recently. Also, all about giving back. So if you're there, Rick, put the times where people can tune in to You Better Live podcast. Also is on Spotify as well under the same title. So hey, y'all go follow Rick You Better Live podcast on Spotify, man. That's support each other. And it don't cost you anything, ladies and gentlemen, to support one another. Whether just one, it's a like, a share, a comment. It takes they say it takes a village to raise children, raise kids, right? Well, raise children. It's gonna take a village. It's gonna take a whole village of us to get to the place where we need to be at. We can't do this thing by ourselves. Everybody has very unique different platforms, and so let's support one another. Like James Burns here in Fort Worth, DFW Fort Worth. Him and his lovely wife have their own business as well with the candle scents. And not only that, they do a lot of like a flea market every weekend in Fort Worth. So, man, y'all follow James Burns well on social media. Awesome man, great businessman. I had him on the show a while back. So follow him. He's in the DFW. He's always giving back. He's always willing to share with other people as well. So, man, let's show these great individual support. Same thing with Erica Davis that was in the comment section earlier. Show us some love as well. It's not about us. It's not about a one-man show. Like I said, y'all follow us So Bright Crenshaw on Facebook right now. It's free. It's not gonna cost you anything. So follow her on Facebook, network, get with her on the back end, and just see all the work that she's doing to really all about bettering our generation. So that's what it's all about. So I know everybody ready to get off the air. So Bright, I know you have a very productive Saturday ahead of you as well. So when it comes, what advice
Mhm.
would you leave with our generation? That's
Okay.
on your heart.
Never be afraid to ask for help. In the scriptures, it says, asking you shall receive. Always be hungry for more success. The more hungry you are for success, the Most High will raise you up to be next. Always surround yourself with positive souls who's doing the exact same thing as you. And also, most of all, remain to keep the Most High God in the center of your life. Keep him above and beyond.
Man, and that's what's up right there. So, man, I appreciate you again, so bright as well, for being on here. Big shout out to everybody who's been watching us this morning. Big shout out to the comment section as well. Man, y'all have a great Saturday. Have a great productive Saturday. Always remember, big shout out to Cedar Dean Williams. He always say to remember the graveyard. Everybody had one thing in common. They thought they were gonna see tomorrow and they didn't. Remember, let's live life like it's our last. Man, remember, man, let's love yourself. Be proud of yourself. Tell yourself we're gonna conquer. Tell yourself we're gonna succeed. Tell yourself we're gonna win. Tell yourself I am great. Tell yourself I am wise. Tell yourself, fellas, I am handsome. To ladies, tell yourself I am beautiful. And tell yourself I am intelligent. Tell yourself I am smart. Tell yourself I will succeed. Tell yourself I am gonna make it. Start speaking these things of your life. Always say I am evolving. Tell yourself I'm gonna be better than I ever was before. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow is the 10th month of 2023. October the 1st is here. You got to ask yourself, is I'm satisfied where I'm at, or is I'm hungry for more? Remember, we get so excited from December 31st to January 1st. We say, this is my year. This is my season. I'm going to do this year, do that this year. Just like going to the gym. Everybody first year want to go to the gym, and then it dies out. Let's stop playing ourselves. Let's be real with I said. Even the scriptures tell us, don't be just hearers of the word, but will be doers of the word, that we deceive our own selves. It didn't say you don't deceive your neighbor. We deceive ourselves. Everything starts with self first, ladies and gentlemen. Self-evaluation, self-examination. Let's get better. And now that we in this thing together. If you're not by yourself, we in this thing together. So let's have fun. Let's succeed. Let's conquer. And by the way, check out You Better Live podcast tomorrow with Rick. In the MOB, my hometown of Mobile, Alabama. Big shout out to my hometown, Mobile, Alabama. Even though I'm here in the DFW now, going 3 years strong. I love it here in the DFW, but Mobile will always be home. So big shout out to MOB as well. So, SOSOBRITE, you have any final remarks you want to leave here with the listening audience?
Yes, I want to give a shout out to my second daughter's birthday. Her birthday is coming
Happy
up.
birthday. Happy
Her
early
birthday is coming up on Monday.
Man, also happy birthday to the princess as well. Man, y'all have a great weekend. And like I said, I'll be back here Tuesday night prime time here on Walking This Way Impact Woods podcast. Till then, love yourself, respect yourself, and most importantly, you are a winner. Peace, everybody.
All right.